So, interesting story here on the F1 Chronicle. Not an article, but this time a tweet, or a post, I guess it's officially known as, on the social media that used to be known as Twitter. Hamilton's pretty much accused the F1 media of a bit of anti-British bias, or at least a bias against him. Now, of course, F1 and the F1 media and Hamilton have had a very long and storied history when it comes to reporting on him. You know, he's been in Formula 1 since 2007. He's pretty much always been in the conversation for the championship. He's someone who is very much talked about. But let's have a look at what's been said here, guys. I'll put a screenshot of the tweet on here because I don't have a full article yet on this one, and just read it out. And yeah, I'll give my thoughts at the end, because the first thing that I thought of is, oh God, the British Bias Brigade are going to be out in force with this one. But let's have a look at what he's actually said here. Lewis Hamilton has called out media over their double standards ahead of this weekend's Chinese Grand Prix. Hamilton felt the media had made too much of his radio exchange at the Australian Grand Prix, pointing out the lack of reporting at others, specifically Max Verstappen. Hamilton said the following: "Naturally, everyone over-egged. It was literally just a back and forth. I was very polite in how I suggested it. I said, leave it to me, please. I wasn't saying the F word. I wasn't swearing. At that point, I was really struggling with the car and I needed full focus on this couple of things. We're getting to know each other. He's obviously had 2 champions or more in the past, and there's no issues between us still. Go and listen to the radio calls with others and their engineers. Far worse. The conversation that Max has with his engineer over the years, the abuse that poor guy's taken, and you never write about it, but you wrote about the smallest little discussion I had with mine. Ultimately, we are literally just getting to know each other. So afterwards, I'm like, hey bro, I don't need that bit of information, but if you want to give me this is the place I'd like to do it. This is how I'm feeling in the car, and at these points, this is when I want to do this, and I don't need to do this. That's what it's about. There is no issues. It's done with a smiley face, and we can move forwards." So if you don't remember what happened in the Australian Grand Prix, you didn't catch the race live, maybe you didn't hear the actual radio exchange, but he wasn't doing a whole Kimi Raikkonen, just leave me alone, I know what to do. But he was kind of saying, no, I don't need to know that right now. Leave me to it. I can't do that now. This is not a time for that. Which, this is, you know, Hamilton's first race for Ferrari that he competed with in Australia. This is his first actual race with his new race engineer. I believe it's Riccardo Adami. I think that's his name. I could be wrong. The guy who used to be the race engineer for Carlos Sainz last year and before as well. And, you know, these relationships do take time to form. You know, engineers need to give information to drivers, and drivers only want to hear so much of it. Now, I don't know personally about the entirety of the F1 media, right? I just report on what I see. I go and make videos about my experiences and my opinions. Now, in the case of Max Verstappen last year, this is what I think he's referring to. I don't think he's referring to anything that happened in the Australian Grand Prix last weekend. I think he's referring specifically, in particular, to the Hungarian Grand Prix, where Max Verstappen very much had a very angry outburst at his race engineer, Gianpiero Lambiati GP. And yeah, that was worse. That was worse than what Hamilton did. That was outright shouting and swearing at the guy. Now, I've already given my thoughts on that and my opinions on why that happened. There's a lot going on with that, things we don't have time to talk about in this video. But basically, the guy was very stressed out and he just unloaded on the race engineer. I don't think GP's really said much about it since, but Max Verstappen's kind of played it down, saying, look, that's not even that bad. That's just our relationship. And all right, it's a bit odd, but if that is how they communicate on occasion, then so be it. You know, I'm not going to go judging. Clearly, it works for them. Max Verstappen is rather good, although I would not endorse the fact that you're shouting and swearing at your engineer like that. But hey, you know, Formula 1, it's a sport with grown men in it. No, with female drivers, unfortunately, at the moment. Hopefully that'll just change one day. But it's a sport with grown men, and, you know, this is how grown men sometimes communicate with each other. As someone who trained to be an engineer, as someone who has quite a few friends who talk like that sometimes as well. Maybe even I'm known to talk like that sometimes as well. It happens, right? We're all human. So I think it has been kind of overblown a bit, the radio conversation, really. I've not really made too much of a deal of it. I think some other outlets definitely have. I don't have a problem with what Hamilton really said. And he is right. He did say it quite politely and calmly, you know, what he was saying. He wasn't screaming down the radio, you know. He was like, look, I don't want to know that. And that's it, and that's all it has to be. So it's going to take time for this relationship to kind of flourish between the two of them. And, we're going to see hopefully an improvement in terms of that this Chinese Grand Prix weekend, because they will have sat down after the race in Australia in the debrief and gone like, no, that's what I need to know. No, that's not what I don't need to know at that point. And that will kind of grow from there. It's like anything. It's a working relationship. But yeah, your guys' opinions in the comments below, as always. I want to hear what you have to say about this. Like I said, for me, I don't think it's such a big deal, but do you think it's a real sign of an issue at Ferrari? I mean, we've done one race. Come on. The main problem with Ferrari really is the pace of the car. That's the main issue right now, and hopefully they will rectify it in China, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Your thoughts in the comments below, guys. Like, share, comment, subscribe as always, and I will probably put a video about Hamilton at Ferrari, but Ferrari being in trouble. That's it. I'll put the Ferrari are in serious trouble video at the end of this one if you're on YouTube. If you're on one of the other social media channels like Microsoft or Facebook, go and look us up. Go and look up the videos. You can find them easy enough. It might even be played automatically after this one. Sometimes the algorithm is kind to us like that. But yeah, see you soon, guys. Hope you have a fantastic weekend in China this weekend for the Chinese Grand Prix.